Hey, this is Dan from MusicXplorer. Today we're here with Brenda Sauter. She's the bassist for the Feelies, and the Feelies are a band that's responsible for influencing a lot of musicians, most notably Peter Buck and R.E.M. So tell us about your musical influences.
That's kind of a mixed bag. All the other Feelies were influenced by very cool groups like MC5, Television, Brian Eno. I was a Fleetwood Mac fan. One thing that really got me so hooked on that band was the rhythm section. And I was listening to Fleetwood Mac, like they were really big around the time that I was just taking up bass. So I think McVie is an excellent bass player. What really pulled me into music earlier on was taking up the guitar in 5th grade. So I learned a lot of folk music and found myself going in the direction of Dylan, Joan Baez, and then rock and roll started to come later on.
You were in the Tripes in 1982, then in 1985 you joined the Feelies, right?
I was asked if I wanted to jam with the Tripes one Sunday afternoon, and then worked up the nerve to say to John, you know, if you ever want a bass player, I would absolutely love to play in this band. You know, just keep me in mind. And then I left it at that. I didn't want to be pushy or anything. And then a couple months later, John called and said, do you want to play bass with us? I know my first show with the Feelies was June of, and I think it's 83, it could be 84. But by 1984, we did our first US tour.
And then Peter Buck got involved when he was recording the new album, right?
So he definitely knew who the Feelies were, and the Feelies were an influence to the members of R.E.M. Though he would have been a fan of Crazy Rhythms, because that's all that was out at that time.
Okay.
And then he saw us and asked if he could be involved with the production of our next album, which was the Good Earth.
I just think it's so cool that R.E.M. was influenced by your band. That's awesome.
There's a family tree type poster out there. I'm sure you could get it easily on the internet. It starts with the Velvet Underground and the influences coming out of that. So we're kind of the sons and daughters of the Velvet Underground. And then the next group is R.E.M. and a whole bunch of others. And the next group is Nirvana.
So, I mean, you're going back to Velvet Underground. So you guys opened up for Lou Reed and R.E.M. on that tour.
Yes. So R.E.M. was the fall of 1986. Such a big step. Earlier in 1986, we had filmed Something Wild. And then after the R.E.M. tour, we were doing our first tour of, like, major tour of Europe. You know, that was just like a whole different world. The members of R.E.M. were extremely nice to us. And Lou Reed, who had a reputation of being an aloof person, could easily put you in your place. He was so kind to us. He wanted us to open for him, and just that honor alone was just, you know, just mind-blowing. I think there were other times where he came out ahead of his set and played with us, which is something that so many artists would not do. But he did, you know, he was good enough to play with us.
The Feelies do not tour that often, right? So tell us what's going on with the Feelies going forward.
Since 2008, we would play a few shows at a time. We live in different parts of the country, so we'll get together, have a practice, and then go out and do a couple shows. So that's pretty much the way it's been since 2008.